Vic Mornington, how are you all doing, folks? So, little bit of a different background. A lot of you have been following the channel over the course of the past year and a half. Will probably not recognise this background. I am back here. This is the old lighthouse that I built a long time ago, and if you've been following the channel for more than a year and a half, you'll recognise that skyline. I'm back in New Babbage. Woodland Grove closed its doors this month after a couple of years on the grid, and with Woodland Grove going down and Magnolia turning into an absolute disaster, and then of course New Haven also turning into an absolute disaster, I thought, you know what, I'm done. I'm done with modern RP towns, because one of three things generally tends to happen to most, not all, because Cedar Creek's still going, but most of them. Number one, drama tears it apart. Power struggles tear it apart. That's what happened to Magnolia. Number two, economics. Basic economics. That's what happened to Woodland Grove. Or number three, a mix of number one and number two. If you look at a lot of the contemporary RP towns that are currently out there on the grid, the biggest one was Woodland Grove, and at the end it started to struggle for various reasons, numerous reasons actually, and I thought, well, you know what, after all the time, all the free videos, because here's the thing, folks, as some of you may know, most machinima artists and most video recorders who record Second Life video, essentially for a living in Second Life, can charge upwards of 20,000 lindens. Some of them even charge 30,000 lindens if they're really good at the interstitials and the breaks in between the takes. But the average is round about 15 to 20,000 lindens for a 10-minute long video. I was doing all that work for free for Woodland Grove and for Magnolia, and at the back half of what was New Haven before the New Haven collapse. And I thought, you know what, Vic, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Ploughing all that time and effort and energy into recording Second Life videos, which looks easy because it basically is. It is actually quite easy to record Second Life videos. All you need is OBS Streamlabs and a decent enough graphics card to handle the viewer and OBS recording at the same time. The tricky part is the encoding and the edit. That's where the time sink is. And for the Woodland Grove videos, which was averaging about 1 or 2 videos a week, I was spending the better part of 4 or 5 hours on every single video, again, for free. And then when Woodland Grove shut its doors, I thought, what do I do now? Do I look for another contemporary, modern RP town, or do I just walk away? I decided to walk away. That's why I'm back here. Now, truth be told, I never actually left New Babbage. Always had at least one kind of foot or a toe still in the door of New Babbage. I've been in New Babbage since 2015, so it's like a decade and a half almost. There was a time for about 3 years where I never really set foot in New Babbage, but this thing, or at least a version of this lighthouse that I built a long time ago, or another house that I've got somewhere on the other regions, has always been here. But recently, especially after the collapse of Magnolia, I decided, you know what, it's time to have another permanent presence back in New Babbage again. Because here's the thing about steampunk, and not just steampunk, the Victorian side of roleplay, we're talking about Caledon now, they are much more stable as communities compared to contemporary modern roleplay towns. Much more stable. I mean, you look at New Babbage is celebrating, I think it's celebrating its 19th anniversary. 19 years, folks. 19th anniversary on the grid. Caledon celebrated their 20th or their 21st. I think it might be their 21st actually. But Caledon's been on the grid for more than 2 decades now. New Babbage is nearing 2 decades on the grid. And if you look at the differences between the modern contemporary roleplay and the role-playing community that's surrounding the Victorian and steampunk lands, the Victorian and steampunk lands skew more towards older individuals in their 50s, 60s or 70s. You look at the modern contemporary roleplay towns, you're looking at individuals who could be as young as 20 going up into their 60s, 70s or 80s. But it's the younger contingent where you and I'm not saying this is a jab at 20, 30 or 40 year olds, because hey, I just turned 50 last month, so I'm not exactly old either, although a lot of people say I am. But you look at the people that generally tend to ruin it for everybody else in a modern contemporary roleplay setting, and it generally tends to be the younger crowd. That's why you don't have that problem in New Babbage or in Caledon. Sure, you've got other problems in New Babbage and Caledon, namely economic woes. New Babbage has had to shed the better part of 3 or 4 regions over the course of the past 5 or 6 years because there's simply no renters coming in. Some of that's down to a lack of marketing, mind you, but there is simply no renters coming in, and the whole steampunk fad is nowhere near as big as it used to be. That's why New Babbage has shrunk. If you look at Caledon were up at something like 30, 32 regions. They're now down to around about 12 or 15. They've shed half their regions. Again, the Victorian roleplay fad has kind of fizzled out. But there is still a core community there in Caledon and in New Babbage, and that's why, I'm back here again, basically back where it all started. Now, with the closure of Woodland Grove, it basically means that the time that I was sinking in to Woodland Grove's videos on the Woodland Grove YouTube page, and of course the time I was sinking in to the marketing forum post, the time that I was sinking into the forum, the Facebook marketing post, I don't have that problem anymore. So it means that I've now got a lot more time to spend on the Vic Mornington channel. That's one of the reasons why the videos going up in this channel was very sporadic, because a lot of the time I was sinking in to video production for Second Life was for Woodland Grove. Again, it's easy to record. It's much harder to edit than export. Much harder. And that's where the time sink is. But I don't have that problem anymore because Woodland Grove shut down. So here's the plan for the channel. There's going to be at least 2 videos a week on the channel now. I'm going to try and push for 3, but I'm going to settle for 2 videos a week, and I'm going to be carrying on the theme that made the channel what it basically is. One of the videos is going to be a look around a random new destination guide area that's just been added to the destination guide listings, and the other one's going to be a slightly longer format of video looking at aspects of Second Life in 2026. In other words, this year. In other words, why would you want to go into Second Life if you don't know anything about it? It's not like a tutorial series for Second Life. It's more of a Second Life in 2026. What's changed? What's on offer if you've never been in SL before? And that's the format that I'm going to be doing for the videos in this channel, at least for a good 5 or 6 months, going through spring and summer and then heading into autumn and winter of this year. The days of me being in a contemporary modern RP town is now over. I've been through 3 of them, and all 3 of them have shut down. And all the way through that 3.5-year long period of me jumping into New Haven, then jumping to Magnolia, then jumping to Woodland Grove, guess what, folks? This place hasn't went anywhere. It's still ticking along. There's still a very strong community underneath. And yeah, I'm back in New Babbage again. Might not be as busy as Woodland Grove, might not be as much roleplay going on as Magnolia, it might not be as well known as modern contemporary towns, but the one upside is there's no raving lunatics living here. So Mossavino Tenk makes sure of that. Tenk's the owner of New Babbage, by the way. He's the mayor of New Babbage because he owns all the regions, and Tenk is very strict when it comes to nut jobs disrupting the general flow of happiness going on in New Babbage. Might actually do another New Babbage video, coming to think of it. Haven't done a New Babbage video for the better part of 5 or 6 years, and I haven't done one since getting the 3D Navigator mouse, which makes flying around a hell of a lot easier. So I might end up doing another new Babbage video in a couple of weeks. Anyway, that's it from me, folks. I thought I'd give everyone an update as to what is going on, because I knew a lot of you followed what was happening over at the Woodland Grove YouTube page, and I basically deleted all the videos over there because it was pointless having those videos up because Woodland Grove's now gone. So I thought I'd pop over here and give everyone an update. Expect to see regular videos back on this channel starting this week, essentially. That's it from me, folks. Have a good one.